But let's start with the serious business of Chelsea against Charlton, a match that puts into opposition two new young managers to the London scene. On the right, Geoff Hurst of Chelsea, and alongside him, Mike Bailey of Charlton. And it's worth pointing out that 3 weeks ago, Bobby Gould was Mike Bailey's assistant at Hereford. Now he's on opposite sides as assistant manager to Chelsea.
So let's check on the two teams then. Chelsea field the side that beat West Ham here last Wednesday and also scored 7 against Orient last Saturday. The only change that Geoff Hurst has made is to reintroduce Tommy Langley as the substitute. And the man who scored 3 of those 7 goals against Orient is Lee Frost. He's in great scoring form at the moment, having hit 5 in his last 5 games. As for Charlton, they've had one change forced on them by an injury to striker Martin Robinson. But Derek Hales comes back to their side after being out for 2 months with a thigh muscle injury. And Richard Wilson is a youngster who left Chelsea on a free transfer in August and was top scorer in the reserves here last season. So Derek Hales is back, and even though he's been out for the past 8 weeks, he's still joint top scorer for Charlton with 4 goals. The referee today is David Hutchinson from Bourne in Cambridgeshire. And it's Charlton Athletic in the red shirts and white shorts who get us underway, attacking the goal to our right, with no away wins to their credit in the league this season, and indeed facing a Chelsea side in such good form. Chelsea finding themselves just 2 points behind the leaders in the second division. Madden playing the ball here for Berry. And Britton cutting it out for Chelsea. Sparrow, Britton, played on for Fillery, scored the winner against West Ham on Wednesday. Sparrow again, and a throw for Charlton. Wilson to Tydeman. Powell. And a fair turn of speed, and that's a useful little cross, and Gritt very nearly got in there. There was a certain laxity in the Chelsea defence there. Droy and Chivers a little bit caught out with that cross, which they should never have been, from Powell. And really, Gritt didn't, I think, quite make the most of it. Frost spreading it wide here for Locke. Walker finding Locke by way of Bumstead, and Bumstead now finding Britton. A little chip in there, Tydeman's header putting it away for the corner. Tydeman. And there comes that formidable 6'4.5" threat again, 15.5 stones of him. Mickey Droy, number 5 for Chelsea. Gary Chivers in there as well. And in fact the ball going from Bumstead's head quite comfortably into the arms of Johns. It's Tony Hazell. And Powell will chase this one, but I would have thought Sparrow is favourite. But it's to me like a... Well, I thought Sparrow touched that one over. But the throw goes to Chelsea. Campbell short to find the ball out of play. Again, that was a decision that surprised me, and it didn't exactly please Dick Tydeman. Sparrow. Tydeman. Hales. Well, he had a bit of luck and he rode it well. And the little chip in there towards Gritt, which he might have turned in. It was certainly an excellent piece of play by Derek Hales. Having got past that challenge of Droy's, it really was a beautiful little cross coming in, and Gritt just had to be maybe a yard or two to his left, comfortably to have met it. Ian Britton. Bumstead. Locke going outside him. Harris. Charlton with a lot of players behind that ball. Not easy to find a way through, and Walker getting that one away. But Droy quite comfortably beating Hales in the air, as you would expect. Here's Harris again. Wilson going in hard as well. But Walker with a touch finding Fillery. Britton finding Harris. And Berry's header getting it away again for Charlton. Oh, a clash of heads there between Sparrow and Powell. The game goes on, and the referee, I think, will want to stop it. Indeed he has. Well, it's quite a clash in the air there between John Sparrow and Colin Powell. He looks to be in another world at the moment. Quite a collision there. My word, just look at the bump on Sparrow's head. Good heavens. Well, there are the two who clashed in mid-air there, and a good sporting gesture. Colin Powell was in a bad way, but certainly John Sparrow has an enormous bump on his forehead. There's Britton with the free kick towards Droy, and the flag was up, even though Lee Frost very nearly got in there. He was always being foiled by the keeping of Nicky Johns, but certainly the power of Droy in the air there showed what a danger that could be for Charlton this afternoon. Got up well, but Frost was offside. Locke, Madden making the interception, and in fact he must have been obstructed as he tried to get in there by Frost. Campbell, and now Colin Powell. Tydeman making a break forward, and a cross coming in there. Tydeman scoring for Charlton. Well, his first goal of the season, and it breaks a deadlock and may give a bit of life to the game. The scoreboard pronounces a goal, and indeed it was a surprise goal as well, because Tydeman suddenly appeared deep in that Chelsea penalty area. I thought he was going to cross it, and I imagine that Peter Borota must have thought the same. The ball, though, nestling in the back of the net. Chelsea 0, Charlton 1. And in fact, Charlton have not got at all a bad record here at Stamford Bridge since the war. Of 14 games that have been played, on 8 occasions, Charlton have come here and either won or drawn. There's Langley doing a few warming up exercises. As Chelsea keep coming forward again now with Harris. Now Locke. Cleared away, though, for the corner by Hazell. Stopped for a moment while John Sparrow, who was involved in that clash with Colin Powell, in fact is going off, and Tommy Langley will come on when he's stripped and ready. In the meantime, the game will go on with a corner. Locke, that's a goal kick. Well, he's dressed up for the weather, and it's taking a fair bit of time, it seems, to get Tommy Langley into action. Droy looking around, finding Harris. Chelsea are clearly lacking the drive that they showed when they went a goal down to West Ham on Wednesday night. And they really came back at their London neighbours' throats and won. At the moment, we see none of that positive play about them. And here's Hales now taking that throw from Campbell. Powell. Powell again, and the ball might come for Hales, and that time Borota gathered it well at the post, as he had to. The ball always running Charlton's way there. And Borota gathering it well. Now Campbell crossing it in once more. Chivers there with the header away. Wilson being shadowed by Langley. Still getting it in there, but it's Tydeman heading it on, and this time it's Locke bringing it away. A break for Chelsea that is stopped by the half-time whistle. On an undistinguished first half, Dick Tydeman's goal for Charlton. A bit of a surprise goal in his first of the season, separating the two sides. Chelsea clearly needing to raise their game in the second half if they're going to carry on their charge towards the top of the second division. But a good, strong, if unimpressive, but a strong all-round team performance in that first half by Charlton, with the defence looking a lot surer than it's looked for some time. Half-time score then here at Stamford Bridge is Chelsea 0, Charlton 1, and we'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge then at the start of the second half, with Charlton leading by 1-0 to 0, and clearly the need is for Chelsea really to step up the pressure on their London rivals in this second half. Madden with the throw for Charlton. Phil Walker used to be at Millwall. Steve Gritt playing it back for Walker as well. Droy to Britton. Walker once more. And Campbell back to keeper Nicky Johns. And who scored the only goal of the game. Powell. And Britton back to Chivers. Now it's Locke. Chivers again to Walker. Droy. Langley winning that one in the air, but Phil Walker was right back there doing a good job in defence for Charlton. Tydeman. Madden. Outside him is Gritt if he wants him, but Madden's going all the way. My word, he hit the post. Well, that was an extraordinary run by Madden, the Charlton captain. He must have gone all of 40 to 50 yards. And then hit it almost casually with the outside, it seemed, of his left boot against Borota's post. Frost, a nice touch now for Britton. Chelsea streaming forward again now with Mike Fillery on the far side. Outside him is Langley. Clive Walker waiting in the middle. It's a nice cross by him. And it was Madden, in fact, who just got an important touch on that cross. And that was one of Chelsea's better moves, and indeed one of their only moves in this game so far. But there's Britton with the corner for them. Berry's header getting that away, but not very far. Walker will try and turn it back in a game, which he does. And Fillery has equalised. Into the second half, and Chelsea get a fine equalising goal. In fact, a repeat really of the two men who got the winner against West Ham last Wednesday. Clive Walker having a big part in it, and picking out Mike Fillery, who had time in the box to turn and hit it hard past Nicky Johns. Chelsea 1, Charlton 1. Mike Fillery the scorer, and that's 7 this season for him. Well, a lot of managers like their midfield players to get their quota of goals, and Fillery is certainly doing that at the moment for Jeff Hurst here at Chelsea. But here's Walker. Now Hazell. Campbell. Borota's throw to Gary Locke. And now for Britton. Walker. That's a Charlton throw. Madden with it. Just imagine if Madden's shot had gone in instead of hitting the post. That might have put a totally different complexion on the game, with Charlton getting a 2 lead. As it is now, it's 1-1. Harris planting it forward again. Frost is trying to get in there, but Hazell calmly hooking that away. Frost again. That's a good cross too. Here's Walker on this side. Chelsea looking much more the part in this second half. Oh, Walker's done well. He's gone past Madden. He hit it straight at Berry though. Britton's in there, and Berry getting it away. Handball. Penalty. Well, Les Berry handled the ball there, and the referee decided that it was intentional and said that's a penalty. And the referee, in fact, has run around the back of the goal to get away from protesting players. I've not seen that before. But I think as he walks around, he might find, yes, Tony Hazell there to have a word with him. And I think what David Hutchinson might well be saying, look, I've given you a chance to cool off and get away. Now make sure you get away. Well, there was the incident coming up now, where the referee had judged that a deliberate handball by Les Berry. Nicky Johns on the 6-yard line there, you can see. I suppose hoping to stretch Britton's nerves to the limit. Lanky goalkeeper now, has he got the stretch to stop this? He hasn't. It's 2-1. And in the opening 9 minutes of the second half, Chelsea, who looked in terrible disarray in the first half and were a goal down, have come back to get a 2-1 lead. First it was Mike Fillery, and then by way of what looked to me to be a harsh penalty, I must say, a penalty by Ian Britton. Britton. Well, now they're beginning to look a lot more confident, Chelsea. It's amazing what a goal or two can do. Locke playing it on towards Langley. Walker. Well, you wouldn't recognise him at the moment from the team that was all over the place in the first half. Walker again. Chipped in there towards Fillery. And in fact, Frost holding off Hazell. Getting a good cross in there, and Langley just failing to get above it to hit it in. Quite familiar with the corner, Nicky Johns. Wilson just leaning against that far post there. Madden getting it away. Walker. Oh, that's surely a penalty, yes. Hazell bringing down Walker. Or rather, it's... I beg your pardon, it's Wilson bringing down Walker. Well, I don't think there was any doubt about that one. To my mind, there was a doubt about the first one, but that clearly was a penalty. And for the second time in 5 minutes now, Ian Britton faced with planting the ball wide of Nicky Johns. Now to give Chelsea a 3-1 lead. Nicky Johns complaining that the ball is not on the spot. Britton with the kick. Same spot, same result. 3-1. Well, even though Nicky Johns guessed right that Britton would try and put it in exactly the same spot as the one 5 minutes earlier, the little Scot, his placement was absolutely perfect. Into the back of the net. And that's Chelsea 3, Charlton 1. Wilson to Powell. Powell now on his way, but yes, might make a bit more progress. Tydeman playing it this time for Campbell. Wilson. That's a fair shot. and a nice acrobatic piece of goalkeeping there by Peter Borota. A minimum of fuss really about that shot by Wilson, but that sort of save has become Borota's speciality. Britton, though, picking it up as Powell tried to run it. It's with Harris. Langley, and a chance for Tydeman now to set something up for Charlton. No, Droy's head in the way, and a header that finds Ian Britton. Fillery with the cross in again. Walker! Right up into the night sky. Look at Tommy Langley's face there. Well, you can afford to joke about a miss like that, I suppose, when you're 3-1 up and there are, what, 11 minutes to go. But certainly it opened up nicely there for Clive Walker. And Peter Shaw's coming on, which I suppose won't greatly increase the firepower, but Shaw a defender. Oh, nobody seems to know for the moment who's gone off. I think it's young Richard Wilson, number 8, who's gone off. So Peter Shaw on, Richard Wilson off. Harris planting it forward again, and Hazell calmly back to his keeper. Play there by Walker, and Borota. Now let's look at this. Well, the crowd enjoyed that, and the Yugoslav in fact has set up an attack on the far side now with Tommy Langley in possession. Shaw getting it away. A bit of space now for Colin Powell to work something for Charlton. To Gritt on the far side. Hales coming in on this one, and the header going wide. Tydeman, Hales. Oh, what a good ball there by Hales, and Borota now heading it away. Well, he's been outside his box, kicking it away. Why not complete the afternoon with a header? Peter Borota. A free kick to Chelsea with Langley brought down. And it looks very much as though Chelsea's charge towards the top will continue. And there is the final whistle. It's a victory for Chelsea. It makes it 8 wins in their last 10 games. Ian Britton, the man who scored twice from the penalty spot, the little number 7. Chelsea with their 3 goals coming in the first quarter of an hour of the second half. With Mike Fillery scoring again to take his total to 7. And really, Chelsea can thank a much improved second half performance for both the points. So as the players come off, we leave with a final score. Chelsea 3, Charlton 1.
Well, it was just as well that Chelsea showed some improvement in the second half, because up to that point they looked anything but a side that was on its way to its 8th win in its last 10 games. But it's a victory that puts Chelsea into 3rd place now in the second division. Look at that. Clubs from the London area now filling the top 3 places. But what did Mike Bailey of Charlton and first Geoff Hurst of Chelsea think of it all?
I think we threw the first 45 minutes out the window, really. We didn't compete at all. We were very lethargic, and a lot of lads felt it was because of the hard game they had on Wednesday. But I think we've got, if we're going to be successful eventually, we have to get used to the fact that we're going to have 2 games a week.
So what brought about the change in the second half? A few sharp words at half-time?
I think that just about sums it up.
And then you got off to a brilliant start. I mean, with 3 goals, you couldn't believe that, obviously, in the first quarter of an hour of the second half. And that was a marvellous start. And Mike Fillery is scoring again.
Yes, we're encouraging Mike to get forward and to score goals, and he's responding very well.
Yes.
He scored the other night. In fact, he missed one the other night, very similar to that one. So that's encouraging. But we had a 10-minute spell and got the 10-15-minute spell, scored the 3 goals, and then we sat back again. And up until the last 10 minutes when John Bumstead went off with 2 stitches, of course, when we were under a bit of pressure then, we played for 10 minutes. Yes. And you know, although we're happy with the result, I'm not happy with the overall performance.
If I can turn to you now, Mike, what did you feel about Charlton's overall performance today?
Yeah, I thought in the first half, I disagree with Jeff a little bit. I think it was our own good play that stopped them playing. You know, I thought we were very well organised, and I thought we deserved to go in at 1-0 up. Just after that, after half-time, I think we had a mad 5 minutes where, you know, we left a player unmarked, Fillery boy unmarked in the box. We didn't push out at all from the corner. And then, you know, we had a penalty against us, which I felt wasn't a penalty.
That was the handball by Les Berry.
Yeah, you know, Les says he couldn't get near it. And then, of course, the second penalty, which, you know, I don't disagree with at all.
That looked a good penalty, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's establish, first of all, with this first penalty, the referee apparently told the Charlton camp it was handball by number 2, but if you watch the number 5, Les Berry, you can see that the ball hits him. But, I mean, it struck with such power there, from such short range, you wonder what his intention was. It didn't, I can't imagine it was deliberate, but the referee standing behind said that it was. I thought it was a tough decision yesterday, and looking at it again today, I don't really change my opinion of that. It was a tough decision against Charlton. But this one, I don't think they can have any complaints about it. Clive Walker takes up the ball, Richard Wilson goes into him, down he goes, inside the penalty area, and on this occasion I think the referee was 100% right to give a penalty against Charlton.